Great Rift Valley stretches thousands of miles from the Jordan River in Asia to the lakes region of Southeast Africa. At its southern end, you will find a country the size of England called Malawi, tucked between Mozambique, Zambia, Tanzania, and inhabited by 11 million people. For 4 years, supporters from Westminster Presbyterian Church in Chehalis, Washington, and many service clubs, businesses, and citizens have extended the hand of friendship to Malawians through the Church of Central Africa Presbyterian Synod of Livingstonia. Twice, Malawians have visited our area for cultural exchanges. Walk with us on our second journey to the warm heart of Africa to see our Malawian family, to review projects of interest to donors, and to learn about new synod programs.
Full of enthusiasm, the Kirks arrived in Lilongwe, Malawi on July 7, 2002. We had a splendid reunion with Mattia and Maria in Coma.
And we send greetings to our friends in USA.
They took us to the Synod headquarters in Mzuzu, our home, for 3 weeks. We spent many wonderful evenings at the Nkoma's home getting to know their extended family and friends. Here is Maria with her 2 eldest daughters, Olive and Miriam. Olive, engaged to be married, works with the Women's Guild programs at the Synod. Miriam does excellent work as a department secretary at the University of Mzuzu. This is St. Andrew's Church, located near the Synod offices. 4 years ago, the new sanctuary for 3,000 congregants was under construction. Look at it now. Reverend Henry Mvula is pastor of St. Andrew's and currently the Synod moderator. The 2 Henrys were glad to see each other again. In Malawi, the Presbyterian Church applies a holistic approach to spreading the gospel and helping Malawians help themselves. This office building is still under construction, but the bottom floor spaces are fully occupied and producing income for the Synod. Newer restaurants are located nearby.
Early in our stay, we met at Mzuzu University with Vice Chancellor Peter Mwanza and some of his faculty and staff. In 1998, Jenny and I consulted with university organizers. This renovated teachers' college is ready to graduate the first 4-year class. A gutted building has been transformed into a well-equipped library. 500 young men and women are fortunate to attend classes here. Meet Reverend Martha on the left. Ordained in 1998, she is the first Malawian woman Presbyterian minister and a good role model for other women. Working hand in hand with the government, 3 synods in Malawi help meet over 40% of the country's educational and medical needs. Because of donations from our area, over 200 students have been able to attend school this year. Our work has inspired other churches to raise money for scholarships.
I want to thank you I want to appreciate for your job that you have done to me for paying school fees. And I want to be educated. After my education, I want to be a music teacher.
The Synod of Livingstonia has 4 major stations. This stately church at Ekwendeni was built in 1889. Parishioners contribute grain in gratitude for the harvest. This season, food is scarce.
At Ekwendeni Hospital, we were delighted to see Esther, now head nurse at the station. Donated Tylenol products and hydrogen peroxide, along with medicines contributed by Hall's and Smith's pharmacies, were among the supplies gratefully received. A group of midwives was being issued new bicycles so they can reach patients in remote areas. The men were helping them inflate the tires. The Development Department helps Malawians access safe drinking water. develop sustainable agriculture, learn new technology, and begin microenterprises to encourage new wage earners. They use seeds from Kaya's and Pioneer West to introduce new food sources. The children of Malawi are always a delight. Well-disciplined and respectful, they are eager to learn. The headmistress of Ekwendeni Secondary School was busy preparing for the celebration of education to be held the next day. We had fun distributing the new commemorative United States quarters and giving short geography lessons.
That's what you have.
Students were interested to learn that their quarter was worth about 18 kwacha.
It's $0.25.
This Form 4 blind student was taking an exam in the Resource Center.
Bandawi Station, established in 1881, is building a new sanctuary to accommodate the growing membership. It was a treat to hear the choir practice in this grand old church. At the primary school, a swarm of students greeted us, and once inside, they were brought to order with synchronized clapping. They were a great group.
Hello, Washington. Greetings from Bandawi.
Hey! Returning to Sambani Lodge at Lake Malawi was pleasant. Our room was very comfortable. We stayed here. In the morning, we encountered a man chopping down a tree with excellent handmade tools. That afternoon, all dressed up, he visited us. At 82, he is a rarity with a marvelous story to share.
Henry is a kid magnet. These boys have been harvesting cassava and stopped to talk to us. Henry had a great time videotaping them and even more fun showing them the results. We enjoyed a morning of relaxation and then got back to work. Because of our combined expertise and Henry's considerable experience as president of Centralia College, we were asked to study information on Livingstonia and a proposed Institute of Higher Learning. I helped prepare the evening meal, Malawi style.
We are peeling cassava. And then sima. Sima? Yeah. It's a staple food of Malawi.
Women work hard cooking over an open fire and washing dishes in a pan. Everyone helps, and a great sense of community is apparent.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, that's very good.
When Sunday dawned, we were full of anticipation. This day, we were guests of the Chintechi Church congregation as they dedicated their new sanctuary on a hill overlooking Lake Malawi. Church members formed a singing parade as we walked to the site. We brought news of a donation from our church to finish the roof. Everyone was thrilled.
On behalf of our group and our church, Westminster Presbyterian Church in Washington,
tukumba kuti pano ndipereke chaonangwa kwa Reverend Ngoma mumaru mwa banyidu abakuwa ku Washington ndi eklezia ya kutipembere umoza kuwa
a gift of 37,500 kwacha to help you finish your...
The children sat quietly during the 3-hour service. We surprised Henry with the blessing of a communion table and chairs in honor of his 40 years of work in higher education. The Umanyana Women's Guild sang about battling the devil with their weapon, the Bible. Henry and Mattia delivered the same message: go forward with courage and confidence. Henry in English and Mattia in the language of his people.
Think about God's word.
mukananganengesa mazwi akuchuta
Think about God's promises to you.
mukananganenge ndi mapangano kakuchuta
When you're feeling discouraged,
asani mgongo wesekeka
when you're feeling down,
asani muona kuti nthazi ziropwa
have courage and
mulenge
confidence.
ndi chiganga ndi nthazi
God is working in your life.
ambuye ateweta moyo wino
He has plans for you.
An elder gave the formal welcome speech on behalf of Chintachi Church and its 7 substations.
In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we warmly welcome you to Chintachi Congregation on the wonderful day of July 14, 2002.
What a privilege it was for us to attend this service wearing traditional garb given to us by Maria. We were humbled by the generosity of the congregation and the gift of love given to us so freely.
On our way to Livingstonia Station, we stopped at Mwalapoli to see the manse roof provided by Westminster donations. We experienced some car trouble, but were soon on our way via the dirt road engineered in the early 1900s by a Scot, David Gordon. Locals called it Gorodi. In 1914, author Morrison describes the scene so well in his book, Streams in the Desert. He writes, and I quote, 90 miles north of Bandawi, Mount Waller rises nobly above the lake. Behind it, on the plateau of Kondawi, stands the Livingstonia Institution, without a doubt the most remarkable achievement in Central Africa. A well-made road starts from the bay and in resolute fashion tackles the apparently inaccessible height. 24 times as it ascends, it doubles back on itself, making an unparalleled series of devil's elbows.
The engine stopped. And our moderator? He's hiding in the car.
He's our driver. He's a wonderful driver.
He's good. Let's see. What do you have to say for yourself, Henry?
Nothing.
Well, we reached Bend 9 about 5 p.m. and stopped to help transport 2 women and a baby and the goods they were carrying up the hill. All packed up, we discovered that the engine would not start. Thankfully, 3 hours later, after dark, 2 men from the AIDS information program arrived and saved us. We made it to the summit where a dinner and warm welcome were waiting for us. We had survived Bend 9. Joseph Longway, principal of Livingstonia Technical College, and his wife Irene hosted us in their home. We appreciated the hospitality of this delightful, industrious couple. Dr. Robert Laws, a Scottish clergyman, educator, and explorer, established Livingstonia Mission Station in 1875 to honor Dr. David Livingstone. He chose this permanent site in 1894.
These are the kids at the primary school at Livingstonia. Here you are.
Hello.
Hello.
These children are wonderful. These kids sound very much like kids in the U.S. right now.
Clap once. Clap once. Twice. 3 times.
Dedicated staff at the 100-bed David Gordon Memorial Hospital includes an Irish doctor and his wife, who is the head nurse. This dynamic team has spent years here and is doing great service with few resources. The hospital serves about 45,000 people.
And then, by the kind invitation of the Synod of Livingstonia, we were invited to come back. And we came back in 1999, sent by the Presbyterian Church in Ireland. It's been great coming back. Fairly usual kind of disease pattern that one finds in sub-Saharan Africa. Malaria is the main cause of sickness and death. All the other kind of problems that we get anywhere in the West. Tuberculosis, of course, is a big killer. And HIV/AIDS. 60% of tuberculosis is in on the back of AIDS. With every week there are 1 or 2, perhaps 3 patients dying of AIDS in the hospital.
Several work parties were helping. Some from Scotland were painting. Others were laying a new floor in one of the wards. A new wing was being built.
Is getting ready to put a new floor in the men's ward.
We have a week, 2 weeks to do it in. So we've done that half last week, and we're on to this one. We have to be finished here on Friday. They're doing the ceilings.
Tell me what your church is and how long you'll be here.
It's the Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
In Belfast, just outside of Belfast.
The maternity nurses cheerfully teach mothers to care for their infants. We saw newborns all bundled up in 80-degree weather, which is cool for Malawians. Families cook and care for patients during their stay. Members of a Rotary Club from England were restoring the Great Stone House at Livingstonia. This national landmark was the home of Dr. Laws for 26 of his 52 years of work in Malawi. The 6-week restoration culminated a year-long project for the Rotary Club. They were doing an incredible job.
Because we sent a complete container load of stuff, probably in the region of £50,000. We bought most of our own materials. What's left over we'll give to our team and to the technical college.
What do you have to say for yourself?
I have to say that there's lights.
The Stonehouse Museum is full of early Livingstonia history. Many of Dr. Law's possessions and writings are on display and are so treasured by Malawians that the museum has a caretaker. The complex Dr. Laws occupied before Stonehouse is also being restored as a national monument.
The underlying purpose of our visit was to evaluate the possibility of developing the University of Livingstonia to complete a concept envisioned by Dr. Laws over 125 years ago. Author Morrison eloquently recorded his impressions of Livingstonia, and one that we share many years later. He says, quote, "The institution stands on the very edge of a plateau overlooking the lake. Buildings, schools, hospitals, houses, post office, native store, workshops. Dr. Laws is beyond all comparison the grand old man of Central Africa, but to fully appreciate his greatness, he must be seen at the institution. Even today, you expect Dr. Laws to appear at any moment."
It's a secondary school, which we intend to convert it to an Institute of Higher Learning, University of Livingstonia. And we would study Faculty of Education and the crash courses for diploma or theological courses that we intend to have.
When was this building built originally?
It was built originally around the 1950s.
This is called Laws Hall, and here is a portrait of Dr. Laws on the wall. The campus has an inner courtyard, which is hallways with arches, and it's beautiful. On the interior, this goes all the way around, and then there's a central courtyard.
Facilities and curriculum exist that can be upgraded and incorporated into a university. The Technical College offers practical application courses, including secretarial, drafting, and computer training. This new computer lab will be equipped with 20 new computers, recently received from Europe. Joseph was glad to receive a Walmart soccer and volleyball and other school supplies.
Reverend Bini Makasungura. I am parish minister and head of station of this place. Is Dr. Kirk, who is earmarked to be our Vice Chancellor of the University of Livingstonia, and he'll be sitting right where I'm sitting.
In Dr. Law's office, we met with some of the organizers of the university, including, from the left, John Banda, project consultant, the Honorable Makanda Riri, a member of Parliament, Matia, Reverend Bavula, Reverend Bini Makasagula, and Synod Education Secretary Ron Nirango.
We toured what may become the Vice Chancellor's home, a lovely structure with a grand view of the lake. It needs a lot of work, but has wonderful potential. This kitchen, however, may be a challenge. Could this be our Malawi home? Before we left Livingstonia, we stopped to climb the church bell tower. The view is spectacular. You get a real sense of this inspirational setting. We left Livingstonia very impressed and prepared to be interviewed by the executive committee of a 30-member commission that, for 2 years, has been developing the concept of the University of Livingstonia. Our evaluation of feasibility was favorable, and we shared our recommendations for implementation.
Tradition, the rich history, I think is very important because it's a wonderful thing to bring that back. And you can bring that back almost easier than you can create it from fresh. Because you're bringing something back. You're making it real again. As John Monda said, restoring the former glory. Which I thought was nice. Nice word. Because Livingstonia and education, very strong. We've talked to people. And second, there's emotional, intellectual. People have fond thoughts about higher education in Livingstonia. And I think there's a hope and dream amongst many of you that I've talked with, that Jenny and I've talked with, that to be able to restore that, to make that dream come true. Mbangweni was our last station visit. 6 of our 1998 mission team spent 2 weeks there. Oh, okay. So Maria is here. Hello, Maria.
Hello, Aki.
The home of the station head, Reverend Joseph Mwale, and his wife, Mary, is charming. Mary was drying cassava outside, a reminder of the blending of cultures so prevalent in Malawi. We attended church on Sunday, and Maria represented the synod for Matia. Well respected, Maria is affectionately referred to as Mama General Secretary. Many of the homes in Mbangweni now have cisterns to collect rainwater from the gutters. Very helpful when the main water supply is not working. Notice the harvest of maize on the right and the small grocery stand out front. The Reverend Manwali uses his motorcycle to travel great distances to reach the people he serves. We definitely wanted to see the playground equipment built from funds from our church. When the school is in session, hundreds use this equipment. The major maintenance is replacing worn eye bolts for the swing. Imagine wearing out eye bolts. The slide is fashioned by hand out of sheet metal. When built, the children had never seen this kind of equipment, but it didn't take them long to learn what to do.
Before leaving Mzuzu, we began distribution of the 300 pairs of eyeglasses provided by Dr. Joe Dozal of Centralia that he collected through Lions Club donations. He devised and taught us a simple refraction test and then set us up with a color-coded means for selecting glasses. We in turn taught a Synod healthcare worker, Victor, so widespread distribution can occur. We had many satisfied customers. We also presented to the Synod monetary gifts from Westminster Presbyterian Church, totaling $12,700 or over 900,000 kwacha. Included was the start of an endowment for the University of Livingstonia.
Difficult as it was to leave, we packed up. Reverend Chunga, Nasi's father, came to see us. We said our final goodbyes. On our way to Lilongwe, we stopped to visit with Nase, who had traveled 20 kilometers to meet us. He is doing well as a BP gas station manager.
To extend my warm greetings to all Christians, friends in Westminster Presbyterian in the United States.
Our last-minute shopping included a sewing machine for Maria that she will share with women from the church. Sewing can be a good source of income. We also conducted university business. Our meeting with Dr. Margaret Belize of the Malawi Ministry of Education was encouraging. We also made contact with representatives from the U.S. Embassy and USAID. All were enthused about the university project.
Although our stay was short, we will return next year to the warm heart of Africa and our Malawian family. Meanwhile, we will continue to work as part of the Malawi support team here in Chehalis, Washington, and on behalf of the university from our home. Henry is Vice Chancellor and Jenny is Director of University Relations. New assignments for us, new challenges, but great joy that we have an opportunity to help Malawians bring to fruition a project they have carried in their hearts for years. Exciting possibilities. Won't you join us? There's a job for everyone.